This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive a new 2025 RDX for $419 a month during our 17th anniversary sale.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield Home Security System guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Take $10,000 off a 2025 Acura MDX during our 17th anniversary sale.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
It's big. It's gigantic. It's the Toyota of Hollywood Super Sale. Over 2,000 Toyotas from just $17,988. Like a Corolla LE, not $24,000, $17,988. Buy with 0% financing, 0 down. Join the fun and get a super deal at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Before you buy or lease a Honda, Volkswagen, Hyundai, or any other model, compare Subaru, rated #1 in safety at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy with 0.9% financing, 0 down. Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $259 a month. Crosstrek with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $239 a month. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, South Florida's #1 volume Subaru retailer.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649 or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive a new Acura ZDX, $439 a month during our 17th anniversary sale.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Good morning, boys and girls. Yes, sir. Rockin' and a-rollin'. Hope you all are doing well. You know, and it's the off time. There's not really a ton of things to talk about. And, you know, on this show, we don't just create bullshit like they do in a lot of other outlets. And so I'm grateful for Bitcoin right now. It's the one team outside of the Panthers that I can count on. And today, obviously, you know, this goofball is actually going to do something positive with the Genius Bill Act getting signed, which is really cool. So I am really happy. Those of you that have taken the ride along with us and have been patient, have stuck through the valleys, here comes the peaks, baby. You know what you're going to feel like right now? This is what you're going to feel like right now. You're going to feel like you're in Maverick, mofo. You're like in Maverick. You're coming up right on that mountain, and you're pulling all those G's. And then you got to come back down upside down. And then you got to dump before you do that. So, before you kind of, you know when the dude with the glasses almost passes out, if you haven't seen Maverick and I'm ruining it for you, bro, you're a loser anyways if you haven't watched Maverick yet, okay? So, you know the guy that's there with is it Phoenix, the young lady? Anyway, she's in Rhubarb, by the way, if you haven't seen that. Well, when you go like upside down and you pass, that's you were supposed to dump. Okay, so that's the part of the altcoin season that you got to make sure before you go in, because you're going to explode with the box in the bottom if you didn't dump. A little crypto metaphor for you, a Maverick metaphor crypto style. Let's make sure you know what you're doing, okay? It's going to be a fun ride. It's going to be a fun all the way to the top. You're going to be pulling a lot of G's, baby. A lot of G's. Speaking of G's, we're going to have David Furones and Manny Navarro, 2 G's in the business. They'll join us today. So we'll talk a little Dolphins. We'll talk a little Hurricanes. We'll get the latest from those guys. I got a little Dolphin topic that I find disturbing and humorous. It's hard for it to be both, right? How can it be disturbing and humorous? Maybe Andy Byron and Kristen Court or Kristen Cabot. Disturbing and humorous. Okay, it can happen. So I'm going to talk about something that's disturbing and humorous for the Dolphins, just like Byron and Cabot, disturbing and humorous. So we've got that to talk about. Of course, we'll take your questions, your comments. Don't forget to please smash the hell out of the like button. We appreciate that. Remember, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation, and Chainlink and Solana, by the way, because they have that now on Venmo. So they'll probably be adding a lot more. I don't know if I would be invested in those, but you can make those donations. Also, send in your questions, your comments, your insults, even a compliment, which is something that we rarely get, and we appreciate it every once in a while. So, got a bunch of stuff to talk about. By the way, Damian Lillard ends up going back to Portland. It's like the bitch that cheated on you, and she didn't cheat on you. She was having like an orgy in your house. And then, like in old school. Like in old school. I'm here for the gangbang. And so you went back with her. Weird. I know he gets his no trade clause and all that. Why would I want to go back to that team, that GM? And they all let this stuff happen in the first place. I was your franchise player. You shit on me. And I get it. He's off next year and he's really useless next year. It's really a 2-year contract, right? And he's got a player option for the third and all that crap, but a no trade clause on one end. And this is just the organization doing a PR move to make good with the fans. But if I'm Lillard, I'm more of I just have way more pride than Damian Lillard and way more balls than Damian Lillard could ever have. Eso no es hombre. Sorry. That Damian Lillard is still, a little kid. He's a boy. He's just a little basketball player. He's got no balls whatsoever. If he had balls like real NBA players do, they force their way out and they force their way to where they want to go to. This little bitch got sent to Milwaukee and was happy with it. Okay? And then after everything that happened, Milwaukee then dumped him. And sure, he gets his money, 113 million over the next 5 years. Okay, I get it, 22 million a year, whatever the hell. Okay, whatever. You get your money. And then you go back to Portland. Why? Why wouldn't you have some self-respect and go and be a part of a championship team where you have your money, right? So now you can even take less money and go somewhere where it's like you can sit back a whole year, okay? And instead of stealing Portland's money like a little bitch, you can actually hang out for a whole year, go do TV, all that kind of stuff, and then the people will, you'll get back into the people's good side, media-wise, around the NBA, all that, and then you make your comeback and you go to compliment one of the best. Doesn't matter if it's OKC or whatever. Whoever is after the end of this year, you look at it and you say, oh, who are the teams the following year in the 26-27 season that are literally going to have a chance at the top? Let me go there as a complimentary piece so I can Ray Allen type, and then, hey, let's go do it. That's what I would do. I have my money already. Dude, the guy went back to Portland, the place that shit on him, the guy that shit on him. Damian Lillard is one of the biggest fucking cowards I have ever seen in NBA history, dude. No balls. I am so glad he never came here. I am so glad he was never a part of this organization because I can already tell you he's a fraud, bro. He's a fraud. This is not a guy that really takes on challenges. This is a guy that tries to find creature comforts over winning. And so his creature comfort of being in Portland, fine, that's it. Now he goes back to being in his little creature comforts. Sorry. That's not what real men do. Real men want a challenge. Real women want a challenge. Real athletes, real people, real human beings with guts. He's got no guts whatsoever. He's got fake guts. Fake guts like, oh, well, there's three seconds left. I'll take a shot for you and maybe I can make it for you. That's it. He's got those fake guts. But when it comes to real life, he's got no balls. He's got no balls in negotiations. He's got no balls the way he controls his career. None of that, dude. None of that. And sometimes you have to control your career. And maybe it's a little bit more uncomfortable because you have to adjust. He wasn't willing to do that. Sad, bro. Sad. I'm just extremely happy. Pat Riley and the front office, when it comes to free agency and signings and trades, they have been royal fuck-ups for 10 years now. Let's be honest. Okay? Royal fuck-ups. Okay? Royal fuck-ups. Okay? Riley in the front office, when it comes to their their trading, their free agent signings, and all that kind of stuff, they set Spo back constantly the last 10 years. As much as they helped him the first 10 years, the last 10 years, they've been the polar opposite of what they were before. Okay? They've been a detriment to Spo. Let's just be honest. Okay? And this would have been just another stupid mistake on top of Whiteside and everything that has gone on. Philly cheese, you name it. Okay? Doesn't, Lowry, it's endless. The amount of stupidity and terrible decisions, Danny Granger and Bob, and just, it is just torturous what's gone on the last 10 years. Okay? This marriage to Bam and Tyler like they're actually something. You know what I mean? And it's just, there's been just, and this would have been on top of all of that. Would have been terrible. And the Jimmy Butler thing ended up becoming a disaster because they mismanaged it again also. And they didn't know how to get off the gravy train. And they didn't have the balls, by the way. It takes balls to finish your second trip to the finals and say, hey, we reached our peak. We need to make a pivot here. They didn't have the balls. They didn't have the vision. They didn't have the foresight, something they haven't had in the last 10 years. Riley and the front office have zero vision and zero foresight when it comes to trading and free agency. The drafting department, they've done a good job overall. It's not like they're passing up on a bunch of superstars, but it is what it is. So what are you going to do? But I'm glad that the Lillard thing never happened here, man. Okay. I know most people are never going to tell you this side of it, but because it's too brutal to say it. You know what I mean? It's too brutal. All you do is hurt feelings. Lillard's feelings, the Heat's feelings, because this is what it is, unfortunately. But I don't worry about people's feelings on this show. I call it like it is. And I'm glad Lillard was not here because he would have been a part of the constant screw-ups that have happened here the last 10 years since the Big Three. Okay? And I'm kind of tired of the constant screw-ups the last 10 years. I'm hoping they start getting shit right. And they got it wrong again this year. They got it wrong again. They're sticking with all of this. It's just a constant, whatever, bro. It is what it is. But what are you going to do? We got to ride and die with them one way or the other, right? It's not like I'm going to change and not be a Heat fan, not love them, not watch them. I'll watch them, but they're not going anywhere. They don't have any real stars on this team, and I can't ask Spo to make, chicken salad out of chicken. By the way, Alethea Liquid Intelligence is on a freaking tear, bro. Tear. Like, wow. 34% in the last day. Let's go. Love it. Tearing it up. It's crazy. All right. But we're nowhere where we need to be, by the way, with Alethea. But it's a nice start. It's a nice start. I'll go with that. By the way, Ethereum trying to make its way now to 3,700. This is going to be fun. And the genius bill gets signed at 2:30 this afternoon by the orangutan. And that's that. This is, remember, I've told you guys this for a while now, right? We've been waiting for regulations and laws, and this is not like one of those stupid what's that crap that he signs all the time, every single day? What's that called? Sean, an executive order. Those things are bullshit. They're not done through Congress. They're not laws, and they only will hold as long as his tenure's here. So, like a lot of these he has no trade. Actually, he has no trade deals, period. He has like an agreement or two, parameters, but he has no real trade agreements because it's not done through Congress. Everything will change once he's out of office. A lot of this stuff, like that whole NIL thing. Some guy sends me, well, Saban maybe wants to come back for this. I'm like, yo, dude, these executive orders don't mean anything. Is Saban going to come back for 2.5 years or 3 years? Because if the president comes in on the other side of the office, they'll change all that crap. So it's not like anything this is permanent. What he's signing today, this is permanent. This is a bill. This is huge. Okay. And this is going to be enormous for Bitcoin and for crypto and Caspa. I should say Bitcoin, Caspa, and crypto, because Bitcoin and Caspa, I don't consider crypto. They're not crypto. They're money. They're immutable. It's different. They're finite. I can't say that about crypto. Crypto is not immutable and it's not finite. It can be manipulated. It can be multiplied like a stock. They can divide. They can split, and they keep screwing you. And then the CEOs can make mistakes and companies can look at Apple. By the way, as great as the Apple stock is, they never got into AI, and now they're way behind everybody else in trying to get. And then they had an opportunity with their reserves to actually improve the company, and they voted against Bitcoin. So they're like on a Pat Riley Heat front office role right now, Apple. Apple is making the wrong decisions as a company. It's interesting. Like, Cook has screwed shit up. Anyway, so this bill today is going to just, for those of you that invested and you were waiting for the absolute crazy time, it's here. It's coming. And you're already feeling it and sensing it and all that. Altcoin season that everybody was waiting for, it's here. It's here, baby. So enjoy, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy. What do we got? Hedera up 12%, I see. Avalanche up almost 8%. Chainlink up 9%. Alethea up 33%. Star Atlas DAO up almost 10%. Polkadot up 6%. Ethereum up 7%. XRP up 8% to 350. It was higher, but XRP's been blowing up. What are they? You see, the last week for XRP has been phenomenal. 25%, 63% for the month for XRP. So for you XRP hunks, you've been waiting for it. There you go. You're getting a nice little pump. Cardano is up about 7.5% to 86 cents. Not enough yet, but at least it's a good movement. Love Pendle up almost 10%. They're up to 464, man. Pendle is a monster. Anyway, so there you go. We got all kinds of stuff going on. And by the way, some guy 14 years ago bought Bitcoin and bought $54,000 of Bitcoin in 14 years ago. You know how some of you still haven't even been convinced, or you just got convinced a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. So you're kind of still like new to all of this. Although if you've been around the last 2 years, I commend you. You're pretty much, you've gone through some ups and downs. It's pretty good. But if you recently got in, okay, 14 years ago, you know how new Bitcoin's 16 years old. So it was 2 years old. This guy bought $54,000 and just sat on it. He sold it yesterday for $9.6 billion. You know the balls it takes to understand Bitcoin, to understand our economy and all. I wish I had that vision in those days. I would have been, well, I probably would have never been doing this show. I would have never given any of you guys advice about Bitcoin. Those of you that have gone on it. But to have the guts to watch it even go to 67 and say, and nah, this is not real. And if he bought, if that's the 54,000, I bet you he has more. Clearly, that's a super rich person who can let 54,000 sit there, up and down, up and down, up and down, hit 100,000, come back down to 88 and whatever, and then go back up to 112 and then come back down to 98, and you never pull the trigger, and then you now pull the trigger. That's just balls, bro. Balls. And he's rich for a reason, because he has the balls and he has the patience and the intelligence. On our end, we won't have the money, but we got to have the patience and the balls and the intelligence. So, but that's, my man sold, he turned 54,000 into $9.6 billion. It's crazy. And by the way, again, you guys know I don't really care about either side, orangutan, Republicans, Democrats, whatever. They passed 3 bills yesterday. One of them was the anti-CBDC bill, which delayed the vote the day before. Anybody watch that vote? Out of the 212 Democrats, 210 voted against the bill. The Democrats still want the CBDCs to control your money. That's some evil shit, dude. That's some evil shit. And I am glad that they came. That's a bill that is signed into law. The other 2 bills were totally bipartisan, 300 and something votes and all that. It was great that they both agreed on it. But then when it came to the anti-CBDC bill, the Dems wanted it badly. Just a little, and this is why their party's gone to shit. And the other side is completely imperfect, but they have handed it to them because they continually do Pat Riley front office like moves the last 10 years. I'm rolling on the analogies, by the way, today. I am rolling like 23 minutes in, and how many different analogies have we given you here? Man, that was just perfect right there. Sorry, Riles. Sorry, Heat. Love you guys, but your last 10 years, not going to get any credit. And if you want to lock me down to CBDCs as an American, you're not going to get any credit from me, bro. You want to police my money too? No. Anyway, so we got all of that going on in the world of crypto and sports, of course. What else do we have? Tomorrow, well, why don't we do this, Sean? Let's do our 3A graphics sports calendar. The amazing Alan Blanco, 786-618-1443, custom printing and embroidery. Tomorrow, 7:30, Inter Miami will visit the Red Bull of New York. New Yorkers, I don't know if you're going to see Messi. I don't know, but the old guys, it's going to be hard for them to play. This is going to be could be an ugly one again for Inter Miami here. Also on the pitch, but this one will be in Charleston. The Charleston Battery will be hosting Miami FC at 7:30. TJ Watt finally signs his contract with the Steelers. 3 years, $123 million extension. 108 of it is guaranteed, making him the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. He is averaging $41 million a year. And The aforementioned Dame Lillard returns to Portland. The little bitch signs a 3-year, $45 million deal. He'll have a player option in the third year and a no-trade clause. He is picking up $113 million from Milwaukee after the release. And it is another weak move by a weak player in Dame Lillard. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. What a wuss, dude. What an absolute wuss, Dame Lillard. God. I got no respect for you, dude. You got no balls whatsoever. No character whatsoever. Soft. Soft as hell, dude. God. Lost all respect. I lost all respect for him when he just went to Milwaukee like a little bitch. Just went whatever the general manager told his ass to do. Like a little bitch, he went over there. All right. Good morning to all. Let's do a little roll call. Little Dolphin Dave is in the house. Stephen Harris. I wanted to give a special birthday shout out to the woman who brought me into this world and raised me from day one now, my mother. Awesome. Mama Harris. Happy birthday to you. I don't have a name, so I got to go Mama Harris. Happy birthday. NorCal is in. Brooklyn Rob. Well, Brooklyn Rob is one of those dudes. But NorCal, too. NorCal's loving life, too. He's in there. One-Eyed Jack. I would like to see 210 Dems that voted against the anti-CBDC bill explain why they... Bro, it's disgusting. It's disgusting that they voted for a CBDC. It's disgusting, One-Eyed Jack. Like, they want to be able to turn people's money off. Oh, no, you can't buy guns. Oh, no, you can't buy this food. Or, no, you can't deal with this company or whatever. Or how about if they put an expiration date on your money like they're going to do with China CBDC? An expiration date on your money. They can do that shit with digital currency. They can spy on everything you're buying. How in the world are you people voting 210 out of 212? That's why I hate these parties. You know? And I just see, okay, what are you going to do for me, for real? I don't really care about, I care about Americans. I don't care about stupid Democrats or stupid Republicans or silly ass Trumpies or whatever. None of that shit. I don't care about it. You're all clowns. You know? I don't get tied up with any of that BS. None of that. You're all just following different kinds of cults, by the way. That's all. So, yeah. I mean, 210 out of 212. And I bet you Ro Khanna was one of the two. That I bet you. Because he's the one Dem that is, he's from California. He's super pro Bitcoin, and he gets it. So I bet anything you want. Ro Khanna was one of the two Democrats that voted against the voted for the anti-CBDC bill. I don't know who the other Dem is. I don't know who it is. If anybody has that information, if it ever got out there or whatever, or if they came out and said, hey, by the way, I voted, I don't know, because they would make their entire party look like idiots. But One-Eyed Jack, it's disgusting, dude. Disgusting. Really. Jeff in Long Island. Jay Gelfin is smashing it. Thank you, Jay, as always. Appreciate your support. The great Brian Radke in. Alexis Palenzuela. Sweet baby Ray. I didn't want Dame Lillard on the Heat, but I am somewhat surprised by his return to Portland, especially at that price tag after all the friction between all the parties involved. I'm just like, dude, you just picked up $112 million from Milwaukee. Why are you in a hurry to go back to that place? Why? You're not going to win anything there. Sit back. Play the game. He doesn't know how to play the game. Rehab. Control your fate and and make a team that wants you, that needs you, and maybe a championship kind of caliber team, and then join them. I don't know. To me, Sweet Baby Ray, none of this made sense at all, whatsoever. So, what can I tell you? I'll get back to you, the chat board in a minute. Corso, thank you for the love on the super chat. Good morning, Vietnam. Because he has that. Good morning, Vietnam. You gotta have that scratchiness when you do the good morning Vietnam. Thank you, Corso. Appreciate you, my brother. Brian Rockgate, thank you for the love on Cash App, sir. Appreciate you. Very nice of you. A happy Friday. Thank you. Remember, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation too on the program. All right. All right, let's switch gears. Let's talk a little Miami Dolphins with the one and only David Furones in our Welt and Rheum Miami Dolphins report.
All rise, football fans, as the Welt and Rheum Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
All right, young man. Good morning to you. How are you doing?
Good morning, Big O. I'm doing well. Getting ready for one last weekend of freedom before we lock in for training camp, and it's every day after that. Finally, football season is nearly upon us.
There you go. Freedom, kind of like freedom for your money. Anyway,
that's going well.
That's an understatement. And now the altcoins are all going to explode now as they're starting to move now. So Ethereum is really moving now, and all the other ones will start. Well, the good ones will start climbing. So that'll be a lot of fun over the next couple of months. It looks like second round picks are starting to fall in line, and we're seeing how the different percentages and the guarantees and all of that. I know people they put so much. It's almost like I don't think people really have paid attention to the offseason, where the entire offseason there's been zero urgency in anything done. And so I love how people are killing themselves. Oh my God, we got to get Savanaya in there. And yeah, you got to get him in there. But I'm not sure what you're thinking is what they're thinking, right? At least in the front office and above. I don't think they have a big picture sense of, oh my God, we got to get ready because we're a playoff or Super Bowl caliber type team. We can take our time doing any of this stuff this offseason.
I'm sorry, who was that player that you said?
Savanaya.
Yeah, all right, there we go. Yeah, that was a little better.
Oh, I don't know how to pronounce it. Yeah,
I know that. It's all right.
You've mastered it already, I think, from what I hear.
Oh, yeah. Right. Jonas Savainaya.
Savainaya.
Yeah. He broke it down for us. First, Savai, like Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Like Hawaii.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Naya. Savainaya.
Savainaya. All right.
Yeah.
So
all right, we're getting
there's
it.
no urgency in anything done. Jonnu Smith. Oh, I want money. Okay, we'll trade you. It's trading picks for next year. I just think people, whether it's media or fans, they have a way of putting a lot of urgency on something, and I don't think it's there. So answer the question of there's not really that urgency on that side. And two, when the hell is this thing going to get done, you think?
Yeah, because now we're coming down to it. It's the final weekend before camp, and actually rookies were already reporting this week. So really the Dolphins are behind on this, but really that's just what was going on around league circles. So yeah, since we last spoke, then the 49ers got to deal with Alfred Collins. So that sort of was the first domino outside of those first two that did sign their deals. So the guaranteed money that he got was about 87% of the contract value. So then you start to put that figure, compare it to where, are you going to do it based on where they were drafted? So Jonas Avainaya was 37th overall. Collins of the 49ers was 43. If you're Jonas' side, do you decide, hey, so if he got 87%, we want 88, 89 into 90%? Or are you going based off that percentage, but knowing that a higher draft pick gets a little bit more money, so you already get some more based off where you were taken, with the Dolphins trading up to land him. So now it is coming down to it, and really, yeah, what you said, the Dolphins front office hasn't operated with a lot of the same urgency that maybe the fan base views certain matters. John Smith, everyone's on the outside is like, how are you going to let this guy go? Why aren't you paying him? Pay John and they're saying no. Now they're taking a hard stance. Maybe learning some lessons from last year where they appeased everyone and anyone who wanted guarantees, wanted some extra money, a new extension. And we already saw how that didn't play out well with the Jalen Ramsey situation. I mean, shoot, Tyreek Hill. I bet they wish they weren't on the hook for all those guarantees going into this year, but they are, and they hope they can get some semblance of the old him back this year. But you're right. It's been a pivot in the stance that the Dolphins front office has taken. So they may be playing some hardball, but then now also the way the league is going, if they are going to start guaranteeing more money for second rounders, then you can't end up being the only one that's not doing it.
Hey, look, man. And as I told a couple of people in the building, guys, sometimes we have to assess our information. They didn't like what I told them, but, you made a mistake with Rob Hunt. That's just the way it is. They, inside the building, there's a little more pain on Van Ginkel, actually. But still, they're worried about long-term health with him. So we'll see if that does end up, because I still hear people say, well, they made a mistake with Wilkins. Actually, they did not. They made a great decision with Wilkins, but yet they want to hold that against them. So it's kind of weird in the dynamic, in the way, things are looked at when it comes to the Dolphins in some of these, decisions. And so hindsight is 2020, right? And the market changes. And unfortunately, now you're going to have to pay guards that are really good. It was just Rob Hunt was the beginning of that whole process of guards are going to be valued more, and Miami was unwilling to go there, which they should have, and they didn't. Now they paid the price. Well, now here comes the new wave. The new wave is, because of these idiots at the front of the draft, there's going to be a percentage of that second round pick money that you're going to have to guarantee. So whether the Dolphins like it or not, like the Rob Hunt thing, at least this one is kind of like a hurricane. You can see it coming. You can prepare for it now, and you can do something about it. The Rob Hunt one was kind of like a tornado. You had no idea guards were going to be worth that kind of money moving forward, and you got walloped, and you made a quick decision there, and you thought you made the right one. I thought they made the right one. I thought I wouldn't have paid Rob Hunt either. I didn't want to pay Wilkins. So they agreed with me on that one. The Rob Hunt one, I have to admit, I was off. I don't know where you were on Rob Hunt, but I'm wrong on Rob Hunt.
Yeah.
And
if you had Rob Hunt today, then you wouldn't need to trade up in the second round to go and get another guard, and you could have used that for something else. And now, granted, you also would have been down a lot more in the depths with the money you had available, because you would have had to pay your guard a lot of money. Jonas Avainaya, you're going to get him on a rookie deal for the next 4 years, and yes, also.
By the way, $8 million of Daniel's money comes off of Hunt, so it's only 12.
Right.
Okay, so it's only 12 more. You can figure. You know what? If you were smart enough not to sign Tyreek, you would have been all right with that.
Yeah, giving him those guarantees. The
This year
extension that Jalen Ramsey got. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, all that factors in, right, in where you place your priorities. But it was kind of shocking that 23 offseason, or after the 23 season, 24 offseason, when guards started getting paid all that money, because you never expected that figure to be what Rob Hunt was going to get, and then you saw what it was going for, what the market was going for, and then I guess you said, okay, all right, easy decision. You let him walk. We're not doing that over here. And okay, if the Carolina Panthers, you're looking at, those are the Carolina Panthers. Let them do whatever they want to do. With Christian Wilkins, it was the Raiders, and you're saying, all right, yeah, go ahead, Raiders. You do what you want and pay Christian Wilkins all that money. And of course, it's the hindsight. Wilkins has been hurt since with the foot injury. He was still in a boot last time, like a month ago, when he was seen in a social media post. You don't know what his status is for Raiders camp, but with Rob Hunt, yeah, I remember talking to Dave Canales at owners' meetings that offseason, the Carolina Panthers coach, and he was talking about a mindset of building inside out on the offensive line. I guess really in the trenches, really on both sides. So it was a little bit of a shift from valuing the tackles and the edge rushers so much as those premium positions, and then now also placing some importance on the interior of the offensive and defensive line. And then that's what you saw happen between the Hunt and Wilkins things. But certainly the one that hurts the most was Van Ginkel, because that was a very reasonable price tag to bring back AVG when you had Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips both rehabbing an injury. Phillips started off the year but then got hurt again, and Chubb, you never had him at all last season. So to go with Chop Robinson as a rookie, even though you never saw Shaq Barrett play, but then you brought Emmanuel Oliver back, if you had AVG, then that defense could have, that pass rush still could have really been something if you had him.
Yeah, I'm with you there. The Zach Sealer situation. So I'm looking at this, and I'm wondering, are the Dolphins the bad guys here?
I mean, they did agree to a contract extension that was considered fair value, but that was before 2 seasons ago, when now he's put together back-to-back 10-sack seasons.
Well, it's only one season. It's only one season. He only got one season. That's it. The new contract is 1 season. That's it. Right? Isn't it 1 season? Wasn't it last year that he got a new contract?
I feel like was it last year or the year before? I feel like now.
Didn't Wilkins and him both get new contracts? Wasn't it like that? Wilkins left and he got his deal here, and Wilkins got his deal there.
I'm thinking 2 off seasons. I'm thinking 2 off seasons as opposed to right. So you have 1 season.
It was last season.
Right.
Okay.
It's been 2 off seasons, 1 season in between. That's right.
No. It's 1 season.
Right. 1 season. Yeah.
1 season.
But you had this off season, the off season before. That's why I thought 2 is what I'm saying. But yeah, 1 season.
So I'm just wondering, bro. But why are the Dolphins the bad guys? Why are, and I know you guys don't do the headlines, but I read in the Herald, Zach Sealer deserves a raise and his peers are watching. Will the Dolphins negotiate with Zach Sealer in good faith? Those are misleading headlines, bro. You're painting the Dolphins in a terrible picture. The headline, now you tell me, is it responsible what the headline reads by the Miami Herald, or let me create a better and more objective headline? After creating a fantastic deal for the team, the Dolphins find themselves in a difficult position with Zach Sealer. Is that not better? Because
yeah, I would still tweak around a little bit, but
no. My problem with all of this is, okay, the sensationalism bullshit that you guys pull off, okay, with Jonnu and now with Zach Sealer. Bro, you guys are penalizing the Dolphins for being great negotiators. They negotiated phenomenal deals for the that's their job. They're not being evil. The agent and the player agreed to the deal. Okay? The fact that none of you in the media, including you, go out and say, hey, Drew Rosenhaus was at fault here in the Jonnu Smith situation. He negotiated a bad contract and put his player and the Dolphins in a bad situation. Nobody ever mentions that. We just mentioned that the Dolphins are bad people because the front office undressed the fucking agent. And they did it again to the agent. Okay? So I'm just wondering, why is it that the Dolphins are painted in the negative picture instead of the media should be bragging like, after negotiating a great deal, Zach has now outperformed, so the Dolphins now may have to renegotiate. Whatever. But it should be a little bit more fair than, will the Dolphins negotiate with Zach Sealer in good faith? Well, wait a minute. Didn't they reach out and get him from a practice squad and gave him an opportunity and a contract and then gave him a contract now? They've done everything in good faith. And I'm sure, just like they gave Jalen Ramsey money he didn't deserve, or Tyreek or whatever, eventually they'll give it to Sealer, because eventually either we make fun of them for doing good deals or we make fun of them for doing a bad deal. It's kind of strange, isn't it?
Now, also understanding the headline, so you're talking about Omar Kelly's column. That's a column, so that's his opinion that he's putting in the headline. So
I'm just telling you, it's a load of shit wherever it comes from. The Herald, the Sentinel, the Post, ESPN, whatever. Whoever phrases it like this, you're full of shit. Okay? That's my point.
Yeah.
That's my point. You're misleading the public. You're lying to them. You're making the team completely look evil when all they did was a responsible, respectable, and really smart contract. And then when they do a bad one, we're going to kill them for good contracts and we're going to kill them for bad contracts. That's horrible media, bro.
Yeah.
That's
now don't lump me into that, because I haven't participated.
I don't know. I got to go back and look at your headlines.
Yeah.
But if you're
I haven't touched on this one.
If you're talking in this sense with the Jonnu or the Sealer situation, yeah, I would have to throw you and lump you in there with the rest of them, because this is just sensationalistic bullshit, because it's slow, and let's create more controversy where there is no controversy, bro. That's Drew Rosenhaus's problem. That's Zach Sealer's problem, not the Dolphins. Not the Dolphins. You should be writing that, hey, Drew Rosenhaus screwed up with Jonnu Smith and screwed up with Zach Sealer and has put the Dolphins in a tough situation on a consistent basis when all they've done is negotiate good deals. Where does that ever come out? It just doesn't. And that's what I don't like. I'm going to slam people too. You know that. But I'm also going to call it like it is too. And I don't think we're doing that in general with them at times. You can pick on the easy stuff, the low-hanging fruit, the Tyreek Hill. Well, a lot of you wanted Tyreek. I didn't. But, or the Jalen Ramsey one or something like that, or Rob Hunt. But in this one, they're not as bad as people are making them out to be, man. I think it's unfair. That's just me.
Yeah, no. I was just saying it's important to differentiate that those are columns, opinion stories, opinion pieces. Me as the beat writer, so I'm writing things down the middle. I'm not incorporating my opinion so much into my writing. But I've expressed it on, touched on these topics on this podcast, on our own platforms with the Sun Sentinel Dolphins Deep Dive. I haven't participated in slamming the Dolphins for finding the good contracts. I've been on here on on your program with you, giving them credit for the Jonnu Smith deal. And now I'm also not on the other side of bashing Rosenhaus. That was just what Jonnu was going for at that time. He was just released by the Falcons. He was also coming off a couple bad years with the Patriots, where he did get paid before that, coming off the.
Wait a minute. But if Zach Sealer had the same amount of sacks the year before, did Drew Rosenhaus really negotiate a great contract this time around?
Yeah, fair point. There were questions about, okay, well, could he do it when he's not alongside Christian Wilkins? And yeah, I mean, honestly, you look at that figure, and I always thought the Dolphins got away with a great deal here. But there's other factors like, does the player want to stay with this team? Does he like the situation here, the family, things like that? I'm sure his wife is very happy with being in South Florida with the Dolphins.
You're helping me.
Okay,
that was the player's decision. That's the agent's decision.
Oh, right.
They want to stay here. They want to sign. They want to sign this contract. So let's leave the Dolphins out of the damn equation. The Dolphins will they negotiate with Zach Sealer in good faith? That's a load of horseshit, bro. That's a load of horseshit. That's my point. You can't phrase it that way, because in no way or shape or form have the Dolphins been bad to Zach Sealer.
Right.
If anything, they're the ones that brought him out of hibernation that he was in some practice squad and exposed him, and he got to grow and become a player, and he's made a name for him. People love him here. I'm sure they're going to give him the money, bro. He's
been a class act. Yeah. Yeah, you got to negotiate somewhere, find some middle ground, whatever they're looking for, because at the end of the day, he does turn 30 actually on week 1. So when the season starts, he's 30 years old on that day, September 7th, when the Dolphins play the Colts. So yes, he's done amazing for you, especially these last couple of years, putting together those 10 sack seasons. He was already great before that, playing his role in run defense, in complementing Christian Wilkins when they were the tandem together, that salt and pepper tandem. Now he has been the guy, and but you also give out contracts based on projections of what they're going to do for the duration of the contract. Now, I'm not saying Zach Sealer is going to be on any downturn, but he's turning 30, so once players get to that stage, yes, you are looking at it a little bit differently, as opposed to if he was doing this coming off a rookie deal where he's 25, 26, then that player you are giving loads of money. Those are the top, the cream of the crop that are going to get the huge bucks in free agency. So yes, you are projecting when you give out these deals. And that was a projection going into the previous season. And hey, he proved once again that he could put together a 10-sack season when it's not Christian Wilkins next to him. Obviously, Calais Campbell was a tremendous teammate to have alongside him on the defensive line. I think Kenneth Grant will be as well as he gets entrenched here as a rookie, and will provide another nice compliment. But yes, now I could see how Zach Sealer feels, because you did prove yourself with another 10-sack campaign, doing the things you do in the run game, as well as providing the interior pass rush. And so, yeah, he's entitled to want some more as well.
Yes, I have no problem with that. I just don't like phrasing it. They just signed a year ago, bro.
Right.
The guy, okay, he outperformed the contract. Okay, they can look at it, but it's like, dude, nobody held a gun to your head. You haven't been playing on your fifth rookie year of your rookie deal, and it's like $700,000, and you're acting like the Cincinnati Bengals, and you're not paying them, and you're dragging out none of that has gone on. You hit free agency. You had an opportunity at a free agent contract. The Dolphins rewarded you. You agreed to that contract. Don't make them the bad guy now. It's just that's the part I don't understand. They're not the bad guy in the Jonnu Smith situation. They're not the bad guy here either. They're getting penalized for negotiating really favorable deals for their team. So we have to praise those kind of deals because we're going to do a lot of slamming for the bad ones, So it's so easy to do that, man. I just find like it's not fair sometimes the way we handle it because we're too used to, we want too much of the headline grabbing to get the reader or the viewer or whatever it is that you do in this business. It's just kind of crazy, dude.
I know. Actually, let me correct you on earlier. It was August 2023 when that contract was. Yeah, okay. August 2023. It was like right at the end of camp. I remember because I remember like seeing the notifications right after our season preview story. It was like a Sunday when our season preview story came out and our section. And so it was before 23. So yeah, he did have the two double-digit sack seasons since. One with one without.
So then it's an even better deal negotiated.
Yeah. That was before all that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you got what you got from him as a street free agent, and then you've gotten what you got from him the last 2 years. I think praise needs to be given, and eventually he'll get his money, dude. I mean, whatever. They don't have the money right now.
That's
so right. So is it something that you wait towards the end? See, here's my thing. Okay, you know me, I'm cynical because I've been around this a long time. I think you want to trade Tyreek and Chubb on the trading deadline. I think you didn't want to rush Chubb last year, rush him back, even though he might have been able to play some or whatever. Just get him healthy this year. He's completely healthy. Tyreek, he's motivated. You're probably not going to be a championship caliber team or maybe even a playoff team. By the time the deadline rolls around, you're going to have an opportunity, if Chubb is having a good season, if Tyreek is having a good season, to unload those two for more future picks, which is a thing that's already happened twice this offseason. And this allows you to build more for the future, unload those salaries. And then when you unload those salaries, you open up cap space. Boom. Zach Sealer gets his contract on the back end of the year.
That I could see that as plausible if the Dolphins have a rough first half of the year. But I know. Come on. I know we differ on this because I look at the first half schedule and I see the Dolphins actually starting out with several wins there. I see them having a strong first half, feeling like they're competing. And then the second half is where it gets stronger. That middle part, that 3-game stretch where you have the Ravens, the Bills, and the Commanders, and then some of those on the back end. I feel like that's where it gets tough. So I feel like they will win some games early on.
That's the play that schedule game last year when you're rolling.
I know. Yeah.
And some of the Jet games, and would you like to go over some of those games? Tennessee. Would you like to go over some of those games that you also thought were going to be winnable games too? I'm just wondering.
Right. Now a lot of those happened with Tua out, so that was the big caveat there. So if Tua stays healthy, that's the big qualifier. If Tua is healthy for these games,
you just can't be honest, can you? You just can't. Deep down inside, it's not a playoff team. It's not a playoff team. And
I think it's a team that's going to be coming right down to week 18 for a playoff spot.
And deep down inside, Mike McDaniel is not the guy. Come on, admit it. Mike McDaniel's not the guy. Admit it. Go ahead.
He last season brings you back a little bit on the Mike McDaniel vibe, where you feel he's at. But I believe in that he is trying to incorporate physicality, which was the missing aspect, into the offense, which I want to see this season and how it plays out to make some grand determination. But I wasn't going to fire him after you just extended him right before last season.
Yeah,
especially when he had two out. When he had two out for so many games.
there's a contract you can pick on the front office for. See? We have contracts to bring the conversation full circle. These are the contracts we can pick on them for. Extending Mike McDaniel. It's one of them, too. All right, what do you got going on the Sentinel so folks can check you out leading into camp?
Yeah, we just wrapped up our countdown to camp series. So I put out the final one today, which was can the Dolphins get Tyreek Hill return to consistently getting Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle the ball. We've had a few others since we last spoke. I put out one on weighing the pros and cons of the offseason youth movement. So out with the veterans, in with a lot of the rookies and the youngsters coming in. So breaking that down. So our countdown to camp headlines, there's 10 of them, 5 by me, 5 by Chris Perkins, are available at sunsentinel.com to read before the Dolphins veterans report on Tuesday and first practice Wednesday next week.
Don't forget, Welton Rayom, proud sponsors of our program, 954-966-4646. We are in hurricane season, but does it really matter anymore? It could be any kind of water event nowadays. There's so much humidity in the air now that when you get showers, you get downpours. And then that could create floods. That could create leaks in your roof. You got brown spots. Call Jeff Welton, Daniel Rayom. They'll send their adjusters over, and then they'll call the insurance company. Never call the insurance company. When something like this happens to you, you call Welton Rayom, 954-966-4646. They send their adjusters, they assess the damage, and then they attack the insurance company for you. If you're dealing with bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury, give them a ring. Consultation's completely free. 954-966-4646. Mr. Furones, have a fantastic weekend, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. You too.
You got it.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help. The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. We step into the world of big dreams, big moves, and big money. It's the Big Cheese Miami Recruiting and NIL Report with Manny Navarro. After 40 years, the Big Cheese remains dedicated to serving the finest Italian dinners, pizza, pasta, subs, and salads. All of their pasta is imported from Italy and cooked fresh every day. Visit BigCheeseMiami.com. Now, let's find out who's the Big Cheese the Miami Hurricanes are working on with insider Manny Navarro.
All right. The Big Cheese is a Lethia Liquid Intelligence token, baby. It's up 56%. Bitch, yeah. All right.
Glad you're pumped up this morning, oh. Love to hear it.
So that's a Mark Cuban company, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's an AI company. And they not only build robots, but they bring NFTs to life. And so, like, when you go to McDonald's, you know how they have those kiosks?
Yes.
Eventually, all those kiosks that you see everywhere will have a real-looking person that will be talking to you. And when you make your order, you won't have to be pressing. You'll talk to them. That is an AI NFT. And Mark Cuban's company creates those kind of things on top of robots and all kinds of other stuff. And so I've been into that company for the last couple of years, and so right now I've been waiting for this Genius Bill Act to happen, because once Bitcoin already had it, but now it's kind of more official with Bitcoin, and now crypto have all the laws and the regulations in place, because it's
Mm-hmm.
been the Wild West for years. There are no
Gotcha.
regulations, no laws. So this is happening, and now it looks like a lot of stuff that we've been sitting on for a while is starting to pump. And AI, I don't need to tell you, AI might be something big, I think.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, kind of,
So,
maybe a little bit. By the way, you
listen,
don't have any crypto stock of that CEO who got caught at the Coldplay concert, do you?
no. It is astronomer CEO Andy Byron and Kristen Cabot.
Right.
So yes, those two, like you're at a Coldplay concert, bro.
I mean, those are two things right up your alley, right there, right? I mean,
What happened to the airport executive?
right, exactly. And with
Bro,
the HR lady, no less. I mean, it's just
yeah, and the HR lady. I mean, does HR stand for a hoe ramrodded? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Anyway, let's get to it, since the Canes, and we're getting closer, bro. I am, I've
yeah.
told you over and over again, I am pumped, bro. All right, so they picked up another big guy on Thursday. Talk to us.
Yes. Samarian Wingo from St. Augustine High School. I actually like this kid. I think he's a good player. I like the fact that he's a multi-sport
name?
athlete. Samarian Wingo, St. Augustine High School. Okay.
Oh, name, bro.
Hello.
Samari Mingo.
Samarian Wingo, yes. 6'2", 180-pound receiver, 4-star, caught 65 passes last season for over 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns, so a lot of production. He's also a kid that averaged close to 17 points a game on the basketball court, 6 rebounds, 3 steals. I like that athleticism. Butch Davis's favorite recruits were always guys that played multiple sports. He said guys that could dominate in multiple sports were guys that he was always interested in, because he knew they had another gear, another level of competitiveness. So I think this was a really good one for Miami. They beat out Florida and South Carolina. Mind you, this is a kid out of the Jacksonville area, pretty close to Gainesville there. So I think the Gators were hopeful that they would land him. Instead, Miami ends up getting him, and good addition for them. They've got the number 10 recruiting class right now, 21 commitments in total, 3 receivers, quarterback, running back, tight end, 6 offensive linemen, couple defensive linemen, linebackers, and 4 cornerbacks. Still missing a safety, still missing, I think, a dominant edge rusher. But again, a lot of time for things to happen.
Time,
Yeah,
come on.
yeah. Well, it is commitment season, so we're taking stock now, because what happens is a lot of these guys do lock in and end up signing with the school they commit to over the summer. But you always have those late flips. You have guys that you lose in the end, and so it'll be interesting to see, what happens down the stretch as Miami season goes. But this is year 4 for Mario, so we've talked about it many times. So big year for him to start showing some real results.
And just to kind of recap for this roster,
Mm-hmm.
what is there a position of concern for you in this roster for this year?
Well, I think receivers one, just because it's lacks experience, right?
Right, unproven. Okay.
Unproven. I think obviously all eyes are going to be on the secondary to see how some of those transfers work out. You've got a lot of them back there. You have OJ Frederic is the one returning guy I think you have confidence in at cornerback. He was a starter for 9 games last year, but the rest of it is all transfers, so you never know how that chemistry is going to work out on game day. But they've changed the coordinator. They've recruited really well the last few years. Now it's the time for all these recruits that he's signed, these 5-star and 4-star kids for the last couple of years who were sitting on the bench or playing backup roles, to step into bigger roles and to deliver.
All right. Who's the next guy? What's the next big recruit name that we're going to hear of?
Yeah, I think, and this is an important decision. We identified a couple of recruits who Mario, we talk about when Mario is changing things at Miami. This is one of those guys. Derek Cooper, the 5-star running back from Hollywood Chaminade, is going to announce on Sunday. It's either going to be Ohio State, Miami, Georgia, Texas, or Florida State. Cooper is a legit dude, man. He is one of the best players in South Florida, hands down. Miami already lost out for one of them, who committed to Syracuse instead, the wide receiver from Miami Northwestern. And so Cooper is the second one that I identified as let's see how Mario really is doing. We'll find out what happens. I know he was committed to Georgia before. I know when I talked to him last year at the IMG Academy when he was up there for the Future 50, he mentioned Florida State being a school he always really loved. It'll be interesting to see what happens in this decision on Sunday. Again, can Miami flip these guys late? Of course, but these commitments are a big deal. And when they happen over the summer, I would say the majority of them do end up sticking. So it'll be an interesting one to watch. And then two other names to keep in mind here in the coming days, week ahead. Cortez Redding is a 4-star safety out of Georgia. He's supposed to announce on July 25th. Miami has not been able to land a safety in this class, and that's one position that I think is still important for them to land. They obviously addressed a lot of it with the transfer portal this year. You don't want to keep going to the transfer portal every offseason. You want to have some young guys to develop, and so we'll see what happens. They have some guys on the roster they're trying to develop, but you got to keep stacking because you don't know who's going to enter the transfer portal year to year to year. So right now, the more likely scenario, is that Kenton Dobson, he is a 2027 commitment for Miami, may reclassify into the 2026 class and be sort of their star safety. He's a top 100 recruit in the 2027 class, so he's one of those elite guys. But again, so much of this is how many of your homegrown guys can you produce year to year to year. I think that's really how you get to becoming a national championship contender, not just filling in the blanks with transfers.
Many things to respond to that last thing. You don't want to be FSU, where you're depending completely on NIL, and then you're going to have the peaks and valleys of your season because it's hard for you to nail an entire wave of NIL every year to lift your entire program. That's one. Two, Mario hasn't proven to be a great coach yet. So it makes it even harder if you're not really a great coach. A great coach, you would need one in order to turn over a roster of NIL players every year and bring chemistry and bring them together. Like, let's say to a lesser extent, Calipari used to do with Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
To get a whole bunch of new guys again, then they would start off slow and then they would build up as by the end of the year. You know how Calipari used to be able to do that for a little while. What you rather have for a guy like Mario is stability and continuity, where you're going to have a tackle and a guard and a quarterback for 3 years, 4 years, and that safety and then you sprinkle in a couple of NIL people to help and put you over the top. But your foundation, it has to come from recruiting. It has to be from those players that you lock in, and then you create that environment, that winning environment, and they're happy to be here at least 3 years before they move on.
Absolutely. And I think, ultimately the teams that win championships, which is what Miami aspires to be, they didn't aspire to just go 10 wins and 9 wins and be on the doorstep of making the playoffs. They want to win championships. You have to do that. And every roster that ends up playing for something meaningful the last few years, Texas, Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama, the traditional powers, even Clemson, in the end, the majority of those rosters are homegrown and, as you said, sprinkled in with a couple of players. Very rarely do you see a super loaded transfer team get very, very far. And so I'm not saying there's not positions you can go to the transfer portal and get and still win a championship with. Obviously, the 2 quarterbacks who played a national championship game last year were transfers, but I think a lot of the rest of the positions, like you said, have to be homegrown.
All right, dude. Well, the Athletic wasn't too kind to Carson Beck.
Yeah, the QB tiers came out earlier this week. My 2 colleagues, Antonio Morales and Sam Kahn, spent about a month diving into the quarterback position and ranking, guys. And right now, Carson Beck is number 12 among all quarterbacks that at the FBS level. He's 3rd in the ACC behind Cade Klubnik, who took the top spot in our rankings, and the quarterback from SMU, Kevin Jennings, who was number 8. So Carson Beck ended up in tier 2 of the quarterbacks. There were 7, I think, tiers total that they ended up ranking these guys in. And basically, look, Beck is a proven winner, a guy who won an SEC championship at Georgia, but also who struggled last year and ended the season injuring his elbow and needing surgery. So I think there's a lot of question marks in terms of how is he going to bounce back? How is he going to handle a new environment, different environment at Miami. But we've seen guys come to Miami because of Cam Ward last year. We've seen a guy come to Miami and do pretty damn good. So I think 12 is probably a fair ranking. I wouldn't say it's a good ranking or a bad ranking. I think it's more of a fair ranking for Carson Beck.
Doesn't make Canes fans feel good, but I think, listen, if you have the offensive line and the running game that this team has, and if your receivers, the aforementioned receivers, can actually do their part, every quarterback should be able to be pretty damn good here. Put it that. You know what I'm saying?
They should. And look, I think when you think big picture of the quarterback position and where you want it to be, ideally you'd love to have, a guy come here and play for 3 or 4 years and go straight to the NFL right after that, right? Without having to transfer, maybe start for 2 years, maybe start for 3 in some situations if he's really, really good. But the reality is we've seen the quarterback position. We've seen, like I said, last year, 2 teams, Riley Leonard and Howard at Ohio State. Both of them were guys that came in that year and led their team to a championship game appearance. But again, a big reason why, like you said, everybody around them was there already. There was a machine basically ready to take over and to lead. And so I think for Miami's case, they've got some young guys that they're developing at the quarterback position. I think Luke Nichols is one to watch. I told you, I really like Darian Coleman, the quarterback that's in this class. But again, is it necessary for a elite quarterback to be recruited out of high school every year? Not necessarily. I think we're in a different era now in college football.
What is necessary is the food at the Big Cheese. So if you're looking to satisfy that hunger, baby, lunch or dinner, party platters for your business, your school, your entity, whatever you want to treat your employees, go for it. Come on down, visit us at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue. The walls are filled with hurricane memories from the last 40 years, pictures, autographs, all kinds of stuff. It'll bring you back or it'll educate you, one of the two, depending on what generation you come from. 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue. The pasta is delivered from Italy, cooked fresh daily, and those garlic rolls are awesome, baby. Dip it into that pizza sauce. Go visit my friends Gary and all the great people there at bigcheesemiami.com. Manny, what do you got going on in the Athletic?
Yeah, more rankings, more things of that nature. I'm ranking the most important recruits at every single Power 4 school. That'll be coming out sometime next week. We also have the top 100 transfers total in college football. I've been working on a lot of projects for me, brother.
The coaching rankings.
We have not. I have not done any coach rankings. That's usually Stuart. That's usually Stuart Mandel and Bruce Feldman, but they will be coming out with all that kind of stuff as well as we get ready to.
Where does Mario rank?
Yeah. Where would you rank Mario right now in the ACC? Obviously, Dabo Swinney's a 2-time national champion. He's number 1. But where do you rank Mario in the ACC with Bill Belichick just coming in and all the?
Bill Belichick doesn't even count right now because he hasn't even done. And by the way, if he's in charge of personnel, also he couldn't do it at the NFL level. He's not going to do it here.
Right.
So I can't count him until I actually see him do something in college. I got to say this: the dude at SMU did more with less.
Rhett Lashley, yes.
So I was more impressed with his coaching job over Mario. So I got to give Rhett Lashley the in there also on top of that. I don't know who else am I refresh my memory here. Who else am I going to?
Well, you got Brent Key at Georgia Tech, right? Who he always has less to work with. Beat Mario last year, right?
Yeah.
I mean, almost beat Georgia. I mean, he's done a pretty good job with what he's got over there. The coach at Louisville, has done a pretty good job. 9 and 10 wins the 2 years he's there. Obviously, doesn't have the same level of talent Miami gets on an annual basis from a recruiting level. So, I think those are 2 guys you could say are in competition besides Rhett Lashley for the top 5.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. They're right there. Mario's kind of in that group. They're all battling, but would you give Rhett Lashley the number 2 spot only because what he's done at SMU? And look, it may be a flash in the pan. He may never do this again. You know what I'm saying? So
We'll learn a lot about SMU this year because they have so many guys to replace on that defense. Their defense was number 1 in the ACC last year, and they've got 9 guys off that defense that are gone. So that's not going to be easy to replace. And Miami plays there this year in Dallas, so we will see what happens on that trip to SMU. That's a huge game, but yeah, I think right now, if you were going to say a right now rankings, I would say right now he's number 2. He made the ACC championship game. They went 8-0.
Right. Yeah. I have to give him that love because he's accomplished more with less. It is what it is. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Better yet, subscribe to The Athletic so you can get that crystal ball ranking before everybody else. Manny, as always, thank you, my brother. I appreciate you. Have a fantastic week and enjoy the family. And by the way, happy birthday to your daughter, right?
Yes. Olivia just turned 10 years old yesterday. Yes. Yep. Time
I
flies.
saw your post. How is she 10 already? Oh, my daughter's 25, dude. And it's like,
yep.
I
know. It's crazy.
You know, it's nuts, dude. We're working on, what is it, 30. I think this is our 38th or 39th year together, me and the wife. You know,
Wow.
we're working on our 32nd year married, but we were like together 6.5 years before that. So we're fucking approaching 40 years. Time flies, dude.
It really does. Yeah.
It really
Don't
is.
blink.
Yeah, dude. 35 years of doing this crap.
Yep.
How many years for you now?
Ooh, 20. I started in 95, a year before I graduated high school. So do the math. 30 years. Yeah.
Years. Crazy stuff. All right, Manny. Appreciate you, my brother. We'll catch up next week. Thank you.
Take care, brother.
You got it.
You've been listening to the Big Cheese Miami Recruiting and NIL Report with Manny Navarro. At the Big Cheese Miami, they continue to purchase the same high-quality ingredients that the most expensive Italian restaurants use. The difference is they serve large portions at a family price. Visit the Big Cheese at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue in Miami. Call 305-662-6855 or go to thebigcheesemiami.com. Go Canes!
Well, I was kind of like a little thrown off because I'm watching Alethea. It was up like 51, 52%. Now it's at 40, almost 44%. It is blowing up. What you got there, Sean?
The Raiders have made a roster move. They placed defensive tackle Christian Wilkins on the physically unable to perform list.
Okay, on the PUP list. All right. Yeah, apparently that foot isn't healing like how they had hoped. So that's sad. That's sad. You know, it leads me to my Dolphin discussion of the day. And if you saw the headline, it says the Miami Dolphins painted evil by some in the media. And look, dude, you don't have to be happy with the Dolphins. You don't have to be happy with Stephen Ross. If you want him to sell a team, if you want to fire Chris Greer, if you want to fire Mike McDaniel, if you don't like to, that's Bobby Brown in you, bro. That's your prerogative. You go ahead and do it. I have no problem with that, okay? Nothing's worked. So any of you that want to blow anything up, you got everything to stand on, okay? But I just like to be fair in all of this. And I talked a little bit with Furones about this, but the Dolphins, dude, we're going to have plenty of time to praise Riley for all the great things that he's done. And in the last 10 years, we can pick on him for a lot of the bad. But we have to praise that overall the good outweighs the bad. We have to be objective about this. Well, you have to be objective about it because, like Christian Wilkins, I still hear people say, well, you know, they showed they weren't dedicated. They didn't pay Christian Wilkins. Well, bro, that was actually a good decision. He's not a pass rusher that you pay that kind of money. And look, he ended up getting injured. And now he's starting the year on the PUP list. So he hasn't even been able to come back from that injury, which happened very early in the season last year. So we're coming up on a calendar year now. and he's not ready. You're going to pick on him for Tyreek because I do. I didn't want to pay Tyreek this year. I wanted him off. Legit. But the whole Jonnu Smith situation, whatever changes they think they're going to make down the line or something, because I think they are, well, they didn't want to commit long-term to the guy, and they had him under contract. And they negotiated a great contract. But it was never phrased like they negotiated a great contract. It's always phrased like they're the bad people and they're mistreating Jonnu Smith. And, bro, Jonnu Smith signed the deal, and it's only 1 year later. And so, Jalen Ramsey, we've got that one. We can pick on them for that. That's legit. For those of you that want to pick on the front office for it, that's one that he didn't have to give him that money. And there you go. But then we have to turn and see the Zach Sealer one, which, as we see, it's 2 years in. They agreed to the contract, the agent and the player. By the way, notice it's the same agent that negotiates this bad contract. And then we have to paint the team as the bad player. The team's not the bad player, dude. The team negotiated a great contract and got a bargain for the money. You know that linebacker they signed off the street last year? Do you think they got a bargain for the money? Yeah. And then they gave him a small contract after that. And that may end up turning to be another bargain. But nobody gives him credit for any of that shit. Nobody ever gives him credit for the Zach Sealer contract. We just want to spin it like they do in the Herald. Zach Sealer deserves a raise and his peers are watching. Well, bro, they gave Jalen Ramsey money he didn't deserve, and Tyreek, and they gave Tua the money, and they gave Jackson the money, and they pay people. Okay, now, has there been a couple of situations that some people you shouldn't have paid and some people that you didn't pay you should have paid? Yeah. And we can go and talk about Hunt and Van Ginkel and so on and so forth. But Calais Campbell was a steal of a contract. Not enough is talked about that. And so this is how all of this is spun. Will Dolphins negotiate with Zach Sealer in good faith? Since when have the Dolphins been the Cincinnati Bengals, my brother? Why are we doing this to them? Say what you want about them not getting over the hump, choking in big games, not being a physical team and all that, but they're not bad to their people, bro. In fact, we criticize them for maybe being too good to some people. And that, to me, is the part that I find inaccurate and unfair by the media, because all they're doing is looking to sell papers, or on video, they're just trying to hook you with and then make the Dolphins sound like they're the bad guys, when what they've done is negotiated one of the better contracts in the NFL in Zach Sealer, and they've gotten great production out of it. Will they end up giving him the money? Yes. But do you understand the situation? Didn't I not explain it now? That maybe that's what's going on. They don't have really the money. So they're in a tough situation. They're not mortgaging future to pay Zach. So what have I told you? Okay, if Tyreek is playing well and he's focused, and if Chubb is playing well and he's healthy, trading deadline, that's where you get to open up cap space. You get to move these guys for future picks. And then that's when the Zach Sealer contract can start being worked out. But it instead, no, oh my God, they have no money for Savanaya. It'll be penny pinching from here. Let's sensationalize shit. Doesn't need to be sensationalized. It needs to be brought to common sense and explained to you, hey, ladies and gentlemen, they don't have the money, but instead of mortgaging the future, maybe this is what is going on. Maybe, as you've seen, there hasn't been a lot of urgency in the offseason. I know you don't want to hear it from me. Some of you out there can't handle the truth. But this is not an offseason where they're mortgaging anything. So since they're not doing that, they're probably not going to mortgage the future for Zach Sealer either. So what they'll do is they'll wait for their next window to create cap space. And when will that be, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, yes, it'll be the trading deadline. And that'll happen if a couple of players are playing up to their, and if Tyreek has half a brain, which he doesn't, he will know that, hey, bro, the way I play my way out of this situation is by playing really well. And by the trade deadline, they move me to a team that it can rent me for a couple of weeks because they don't need to keep me. And Chubb, by the way, can get traded. And if I'm correct, can you look it up for me on Spotrac? I believe his out window is next year. Interesting. For the team that tries to trade him, they can get an out, and they're not tied to his signing bonus anymore and all that. And I believe it's next year. I'm not sure. I think there's an out. So, because then you tied to the rest of the guarantees or something. I think something like that. I believe. But instead, let's sensationalize everything. And unfortunately, most of you want to be lied to, and you love the sensationalism. You love it. You love the drama of the Zach Sealer stuff when that's really not the reality. They're not bad people, bro. They're not perfect, but they're not bad people. Steve Ross is not a bad person. Neither is Tom Garfinkel. Neither is Chris Greer. They don't treat people badly in that organization. So, just let's be honest with the public, man. Let's not try to, sensationalize things because we want to create some kind of, we need the views and all that. And it's a shame. I know, dude, I know what I do is not a popular thing. It's not a thing that the general public likes and all that. I'm an acquired taste. And I understand that. And that's fine. And I'm good with that. I'm totally good with that. But I'm not going to play this game. I'm not going to play the game that everybody else plays. Just not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'd rather just tell you guys straight up what I think is going on. Might be right. Might be wrong. So, Josh is also glad they didn't get Dane. Rosendo is in. Lisa Rose. Horn Dog, good morning to you, sir. Jay Gelfin. Oh, let's see how Bam as a 4 for a full season with Ware at 5 full-time. Big questions. I don't need to see any more Jay from Bam Adebayo. I know what he is, and he's not that guy. Brian Ratke, do you think Ali will bounce back? Are you watching? It's bouncing strong right now, dude. And I didn't know you were on the Ali bandwagon. Good for you, man. Good luck to you, sir. Juan Rosa, Lillard could be a champion already if he would have chose wisely to be a more competitive team when he wasn't hurt, but money over championship kept him in Portland for too damn long. Nice job by you, Juan. Jonathan Jensen, $272 with the Bitcoin average in 2015. Yeah, that guy's a stud, bro. Big old rolling analogies like I roll fatties. It's a good one, NorCal. Lord Warden in. Norbert in. Scott Bonus is smashing the like button. Thing Blue Dodgers is smashing another blunt. The whole Savanaya thing really pisses me off, says True Fin Fan. You work your whole life to hope you make it to the big show and you hold out. It's not so much a holdout, bro. It's just a whole second round thing. Let's not blame it on a team. It's a league thing and it's a player thing overall. And blame it on the first two guys that got the guaranteed deals, because then that created the problem for everybody else. Really, that's where it all started, True Fin. That was the igniter. And then the rest of the agents, They're only going to think about commission, dude. So, best email, I put it in there, bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. bigoradioshow@yahoo.com to reach out to us. Captain Saki in Tarpon Springs. Let's see. Ian, thank you. Steven Gonzalez. David sounds like McDaniels. Well, you know, we corner no matter who it is. I love David, but you know, we gotta get the point out and make sure we don't allow the stuff to get muddled. You know what I'm saying? Jay Slim, Bitcoin coach. Do I sell my Ethereum at 5,000? It's up to you, my brother. You sell whenever you want. I'm not even close to selling at 5,000. If I did that, I would have sold at 4,700 when we got our high peak. No, I'm not selling at 5. I'm expecting somewhere closer to 10. Here's what I would do. Okay, what I would do is watch the altcoin market graph, the total market altcoin chart, okay? And when that chart gets to 800 billion, 900 billion, close to $1 trillion, I think that the altcoin market is going to be peaking. Can you look right now, Sean, just put altcoin market chart and tell me what the total is right now of the altcoin markets. The total value right now, which I believe is somewhere 500-600 million or something like that, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm going off memory. I might be wrong. But hopefully Sean can look it up for me and tell me what the total market cap is for the altcoins right now. And I think somewhere in the 900 million to $1 trillion range is probably its peak. You want to probably get off all and any altcoins at that time, because it's not Bitcoin. Bitcoin, there will be no more 70-80% crashes anymore. Those days are over for Bitcoin. But altcoins are going to crash. Oh, they're going to crash. For sure they're going to crash. And it could be 30, it could be 50, it could be 70, it could be 90%. Depends on the altcoin, depends on the usage. So I would worry about that. You got it for me there, Sean? Total market cap for the altcoins? Oh, I saw you pull up the mic.
I'm trying to figure out, because when I put in altcoin market chart, coinmarketcap.com comes up. Am I going there?
Right.
So go there?
Yes, CoinMarketCap. You can get it there. Total market cap for altcoins. That's what you put. Total market cap for altcoins. Okay, what is it? Okay. Somebody else wants to find that number for me? Go for it. Let's see. Based on provided information, the total market cap for altcoins, excluding Bitcoin, is right now at 300 billion. Is that what you have?
No, this one's a little behind. This is 292.25 billion.
Okay, whatever. This is 299,174. Okay.
Yeah, it just dropped to 292.22.
So we're at 300 billion. I think our total market cap for the altcoins is going to be, I think the demarcation line, like where I'm going to be looking at, is once we cross 800 billion. When we cross 800 billion, I'm going to be, whoa. I'm going to start looking at my altcoins and I'm going to start unloading some. Okay. When we get to 900 billion, I'm going to be very freaking nervous. And if we get to $1 trillion, I doubt I expect to leave money on the table because you have to. Nobody can time it where it is. But mathematically, the 800 billion to 1 trillion area is probably where it'll max out. When, I can't tell you exactly. Okay? So if you want to even be careful by the time you get to 700, yeah, be very careful. Okay? But we're not there yet. We're not even, we're just starting, bro. This is nothing. This is nothing. There are trillions on the sidelines that are coming in now. We're the first to put full laws and regulations and rules for altcoins, for Bitcoin, for stable coins, reserve. Nobody's done this shit. Okay? So we start it, and then everybody else will then get it going. So that'll be the way I kind of look at it. Okay. I want to look at what the total market cap is, because then that's when I know the liquidity is running out. And then that's when I need to get out. Okay. So it's not an individual thing. It's more of a collective thing. And then you make your individual decisions on which ones you're going to get out. Let's see, what else do we have here on the chat board? They were having a team meeting at a concert. Yep. Brian Landis agrees. Damn, I think that's what HR stands for. Yep. CEO and HR needed to work out some issues. Nothing to see here. Bro, just get a hotel. Get away from people. What's wrong with you, man? Let's see what else. Skylar says, I get what you're saying about Wilkins, but it's a bit unfair to mention the injury with his contract. That's hindsight. No, it's not hindsight on this show. Okay? It's not hindsight, Skylar. On this show, we didn't want Wilkins. We never wanted Wilkins. We never were paying Wilkins. So it's not hindsight on this show. It's hindsight for you. It's hindsight for a lot in the media. It's hindsight for a ton of fans. But on this show, it's not hindsight. On this show, I said I would never pay Wilkins. And it ended up becoming a great decision. Okay? So hindsight for you, buddy. Let's be accurate here. All right? I said never pay Wilkins. I would never pay him that money. He's not worth it. And I was right. Bam can go with his friend Damian Lillard to Portland. Bro, anybody that wants to trade for him, I would, but they're not doing it. They've made their commitment already. Sam, I am Big O. Since you are normally way ahead of the crowd, now might be a good time to get the Airbnb for the Super Bowl when gets fired. Oh, man. He ruins some talent on this team, unfortunately. Dougie Fresh says, I just watched a documentary about John Lennon where in an interview he defended disco as a music genre. Overall, did disco get too much or not enough hate? The rockers, all that hated disco, but disco got plenty of love from the people it deserves it from. You know, it's kind of like new wave and goth and stuff like that. You know, when I'm at Fire and Ice and they're jamming Bauhaus and stuff like that, I know that it's only a certain amount of people that are going to find that, you know, attractive. So I think disco got tons of love and tons of hate at the same time. But I don't think any more or any less. It just became a thing because they burned the records in Chicago and all that kind of stuff. And it's just that people were intimidated by a form of music that was captivating the country. And then they were making movies about it. Obviously, with Saturday Night Fever was the biggest movie at the time. You know, it's just people got jealous. They got like all in their business and all that. Like, give me a break, dude. John Travolta made you roll your pants up when he did Grease. He made you go and buy polyester and go to the dance floor when he did Saturday Night Fever, I'm sorry. And then he made you go out and buy cowboy boots and a hat when Urban Cowboy came out. And all of a sudden, country became a little bit more sexier in America at that time. We go through phases. People didn't like punk. People didn't like new wave. People, that's kind of the way it is. And disco was no different than that. A lot of people hated punk. It's a lot of hatred towards punk. They didn't consider the musicians, the genre, anywhere near the level of some other musicians or genres. But it had its place, and I think every genre, if it's craft work, it has its place. You know what I'm saying? So much love to every genre out there, whether you like it or you don't, man, because it's going to make somebody else happy somewhere. Devin says the Dolphins could easily freed up more cap space by extending Tua's contract, but they don't want to do that. That's not a smart move, Devin. If the guy refuses to protect himself, why would you extend it anymore? No. You have 2 years for Tua. Okay. He has to prove over the next 2 years that he can stay healthy and play smart. There's no reason for you to commit any more to Tua right now. He has to do his part now. Okay. You've done your part. You went and got the guards. You got some big backs. You got a big receiver. So you gave him more of what he needed. So hopefully he has what he needs to succeed, but now he has to use his head. But not as a battering ram, but to avoid being a battering ram. We'll see. So the smart move, Devin, is not to guarantee any more with Tua, so that way you can get out of it in 2 years if he continues to do stupid shit on the field. Unfortunately, since Tua refuses to protect himself from Tua, you need to protect yourself from the stupid Tua. I saw the smart Tua. It's there. I saw it 2 years ago. That's smart Tua. But we've seen stupid Tua throughout his career. And stupid Tua seems to outshine smart Tua. All right, let's see. What else do we have? Take Furones to a bar somewhere and ask him how he really feels about McDaniel. I agree. I think writers, because they deal with them every day, aren't really willing to go on the deep end. They never deal with Chris Greer, so they can rip him all the time. He doesn't call them. He doesn't give them any information, so none of them are going to be nice to him. And since they never have to deal with them, that's it. But McD, they got to deal with every day. And then the media relations staff, if you're killing McD, then they may not be so nice to your requests for an interview of a player or an assistant coach or whatever. That's how the game is played. So I kind of get it. But I live by different rules. I'm not on a beat, and I don't need to make you happy to do my job, bro. It's not going to happen. By the way, use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off there at Caneswear. Inter Miami gear, University of Miami gear, anything and everything with the Canes logo on it. Dolphins, Panthers, Heat, Marlins, all that stuff there. Get it. Let's see. Disco was a fad. Well, not really, because it flowed into freestyle and then into house. So I disagree. While you have your disco era, you have your freestyle era, you have your house era, you have your EDM era. I completely disagree with you. It's called influence and then an adjustment, right? Because We don't play album rock anymore. We're not going to play album disco anymore, Rosendo. You're not going to play Love and Kisses. You Never Know How Much I Love You, which is a 9-minute song. You're not going to play House of the Rising Sun or anything like it. And you're not going to play anything that is going to be long. You're not going to play Love to Love You, Baby, the real version. Those days are over. So just like album rock is over, even though I live it still, that I buy an album and I listen to the album. But in the world, we live in a world of singles. We live in a world of streaming, and they drop a song. I grew up differently. I grew up with buying the album and listening to the album. Disco was about the entire album. It was about dancing to an entire song. So that has changed. And then we went into freestyle. And then we went into house. And then we've gone into EDM. And let's not forget, before disco, it started with Kraftwerk. So I disagree with you. It's never been a fad. It's just part of an overall dance process. And so it's different the way we attack the dance floor nowadays. It's just a whole different ball game. What a club is now to what a disco was then, you know, and so is the music, and so is the DJing and everything else. It's all different, dude. And so is the radio. You know, I'm not going to have Super Q and, you know, running off 20 minutes of mixes, and then, you know, and then Leo comes back. I see you at Cherry's, and then he goes off for another half hour. It's not going to happen, dude. It's not going to happen. So Rosendo, I disagree with you. It's not about a fad. It's about and how it evolves. Okay. And then depending on your generation, you're going to relate to different parts of it, because I'm not part of the EDM revolution. I'm not part of the house revolution. I'm part of the freestyle and disco revolution. That's for me. That was my dance eras. Just like somebody else was dancing a chubby checker. See what I'm saying? But it was different. It wasn't disco, but it was a different form of dance. So you're hailing the comets and you're rocking around the clock, and, you know, you're doing all the jig and all that other stuff. Man, I date myself, don't I? Anyway, so there's your education on música. Let's go. He got caught but wanted privacy. What an asshole. Apparently that comment wasn't his. It was just something that was out there, and then it got a life of its own. I bet the astronaut CEO wishes he had 20/20 hindsight. Now it's going to be a 50/50 hindsight. Divorce ain't cheap. Ocala Joe says, Big O, I was drinking water and I almost choked when you made that comment that I'm an acquired taste. Yeah, I mean, you know, I do things completely different than everybody else. You know, I'm sorry. I'm brutally honest about it, and I just don't play the fluff game. You know, I don't do that. Taking your side piece to a public game and then you're cuddling in public, and, well, wow, bad move. You think? Bro, he went to a Coldplay concert. I was laughing with my wife, right? Because we went to go see The Warning last week at the House of Blues in Orlando. And I'm like, okay, if the guy goes with her to the House of Blues in Orlando and they're cuddled up in a corner and they're rocking to The Warning and they're rubbing up on each other, nobody sees it. There's no kissing cam. There's none of that. And they walk out and they disappear into the darkness. You're going to a Coldplay concert. There's a good chance people you know might see you there, because The Warning isn't household. Coldplay is household. Everyone knows who Coldplay is, whether you like them, hate them, love them, whatever. So you're going to one of the most popular events on the planet, a Coldplay concert. And then you're openly snug. And by the way, that was her friend next to her, who's laughing her ass off. People want to talk to her friend. Okay. and you're the HR person and you're hugging it up and I get it. If you're a guy and a girl and you're at a Coldplay concert, yeah, dude, whatever. And, you could have played it off. You could have like hugged right away and all that and try to get your face out of it or whatever, or, anything, but you didn't. You panicked. Dude, you went out in public to a Coldplay concert. You're both married, and she's the HR person of your business. I mean, the lack of common sense and just the outright disrespect in that sense. I mean, have some respect for either of your families. Now, I'm not condoning it or anything, but dude, if you're going to do it, at least do it in private where you don't have a chance to get busted, and then embarrass your family, dude. They don't deserve that. Ask for your divorce and move on. But now you put the poor husband and wife from this couple and their kids and their friends and oh my God, dude. And now and social media, oh my God, they're everywhere. Everybody's made a meme about them. Even a dolphin meme showed up. It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, Big O, can you tell us about Jasmine and why you like it? Have you not heard me in the past? I've talked about it many, 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 many times. They protect privacy information. They have partnerships with Sony Vaio. They have partnerships with Panasonic. They are providing AI for cars and computers. I just think that, to me, Jasmine has so many use cases, and also the Japanese economy is hurting quite a bit. I think Jasmine has a lot of potential, and so that's why I talked to people about Jasmine when it was down to a third of a cent, and we've gone all the way to 4.5 cents. And right now, Jasmine is, where are we at? Have we hit the 2 cent mark? No, we are at 1.70. So if you went with me at 0.03, whatever, you are right now 5x. So you can sell and get out, or you can hold on and keep climbing with me back to the 4.5 cent range and beyond, which I think is going to happen in this run. So we'll see. We shall see. You're going to win some. You're going to lose some. But I think we're going to win in this one. Well, we're already winning. It is what it is. By the way, Alethea is now up 35%. It was up all the way up to like 56%. It is over 0.5 cent. It's at the 6.5 mark now. It was under 0.5 cent. Kept telling you guys about it. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we hit on that one too. See what happens. Big time. What do we have here? It's almost time to hold that special person tight at Riot Fest tickets today. Everyone is using that couple, dude. Everyone is using that couple. It's crazy. Don't forget, folks, to smash the hell out of the like button. And if you can also support us by making a donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum, Solana or Chainlink donation. By the way, Ethereum is up over $3,500. It's at 3561. So love seeing that, man. Love seeing that. That is beautiful. Let me get to a little music, notes, and news, and birthdays, and all kinds of good stuff. All right, let's start off with musicians celebrating birthdays today. All right. Jack Irons, one of many drummers for Pearl Jam, Born in 1962 on this date. Nigel Twist, drummer from The Alarm, born in 1958. Keith Levine, Public Image Limited guitarist, born in 1957. Terry Chambers, another drummer for XTC. His senses I bet, are working overtime. Born in 55. Country singer Ricky Skaggs, born in 1954. Richard Branson, Virgin Records founder, born in 1950. Glenn Hughes from the disco group The Village People. Some of you other folks out there thought it was the other Glenn Hughes from Deep Purple and stuff. Anyway, Village People. Hughes, by the way, passed away in 2001. Let's see who else. Wally Bryson from the Raspberries, born in 49. Phil Harris from Ace, born in 1948. Martha Reeves, R&B and pop singer, born in 1941. Dancing in those streets, baby. And let's see who else. That is it. Done with musicians. Let's go with other famous people celebrating birthdays today. All right. Remember, if I don't give the age, that means they are no longer with us. Comedian Red Skelton, born on this date in 1913. South African leader and Nobel Peace Prize. Nelson Mandela, born in 1918. Astronaut Senator John Glenn, born in 1921. World Figure Skating Hall of Famer Dick Button, born in 1929. Actor James Brolin, born in 1940. He is 85. Baseball Hall of Famer Joe Torre, born in 1940. He's 85. Publisher Steve Forbes, born in 47. He's 78. Actor Elizabeth McGovern, born in 61. She's 65. TV personality Wendy Williams, born in 64. She's 61. Actor Vin Diesel, born in 67. He's 58. I envy Vin Diesel, bro. Seriously, I envy Vin Diesel. His talent it's supreme, because think about it. You go on the set and everybody gets a script for their, what they're going to say. And this guy gets a leaflet. A one-pager. I mean, everybody else has got to learn pages and pages, and Vin Diesel, it's like, I got it. Okay, let's go get him. It's like, it's awesome. Makes all that money, and all he has to do is learn like a leaflet. That's it. Just like, it's a one-pager. Everybody else scripts. He's making all this money, and, you want to race. I mean, it's the kind of rig I want. I got to tell you, it's the kind of rig I want. Musician MIA, born in 75. She's 50. MIA is 50 years old? That's weird. Okay. Am I thinking of the wrong MIA? It's not the rapper. She does not look anywhere near 50. This has got to be a different MIA, right? I can't ask Sean. I can't ask you about this. It's weird. Musician. Is there a musician MIA and the rapper MIA? It's weird. She doesn't look 50. There's no way that woman's 50. Can you look that up, MIA? Are there two different, is there a rapper MIA and a musician MIA?
She's a British singer and rapper.
Yeah, she's 50.
She is 50. She's been active since 2000, so that'd be 25 years ago.
Does she look 50 to you in that picture?
Not the ones I'm looking at, no.
All right. Actor Kristen Bell. That one got me. I had no idea MIA was 50 years old. She was born in 80. She's 45. Priyanka Chopra. The lips. Priyanka Chopra. She just looks at you with these lips that are like, gotta say they're attractive. Born in 82, she's 43. Boxer Canelo Alvarez, born in 90, he's 35. And that is it. Sean Stanley, do you have wrestlers born on this date?
Yes, sir, we do. Al Snow turned 62. Carlos Colon is 77. Jacob Austin Young, he's a spry 33. Joey Mercury turns 46. Loki also turns 46. The lovely Mandy Rose, she is 35. Octagon Jr., he turns 35. RJ City, he gaps a lot, and he is 37. The great Suzuki is 56. Valentina Feroz is 30. And the father of AEW president, Shad Khan, he turned 75 today, July 18th, 2025.
All right, good stuff. Good stuff. Appreciate it. By the way, Loki isn't that TV show my wife watches?
Probably. There's a lot of Lokis.
Wrestler, and he's also half alien. Okay.
Yes, and he is one of the most legit badasses that you'll see under 5'9".
Okay. All right. So he's the damn it, what's this guy's name? Brad Marchand of wrestling.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah. Yeah, he's
5'9", ball of fire. Okay.
Yes.
I got you. All right, let's go with music history. What happened today on July 18? Well, we start off in 1964 where the Stones reached number one in the UK for the first time with their cover of It's All Over Now, which spent 1 week at the top. Let's see. In 68, working at Abbey Road Studios, the Beatles recorded Helter Skelter. Paul McCartney had to read a magazine interview with Pete Townsend where the Who guitarist described their latest single, I Can See for Miles and Miles, as the loudest, dirtiest, and most aggressive song possible. When McCartney heard it, he thought Townsend had exaggerated considerably and decided he'd take on the challenge of writing such a song. Helter Skelter was the result. There you go. The Beatles did so many takes in the studio at one point, recording a 20-plus minute version during the session. Ringo exclaimed, I've got blisters on my fingers, which can still be heard in the version that ultimately was put on the White Album. How about that? In 72, members of Sly and the Family Stone were arrested after police found 2 pounds of marijuana in the group's motorhome. 2 pounds. That's a lot of smoking, bro. Smoking. In 78, Def Leppard made their live debut at Westfield School in Sheffield, England, in front of 150 students. In 82, Willie Nelson was number one in the country album charts with Always on My Mind. You're always on my mind. which became Billboard's #1 country album of the year. The album spent 22 weeks on the top of the charts and stayed there for a total of 253 weeks in the Billboard country charts. The title track was originally recorded by B.J. Thomas in 1970 and had been recorded by dozens of performers, including Elvis Presley, Brenda Lee, John Wesley Riles, and Pet Shop Boys. B.J. Thomas, isn't that Hooked on a Feeling? Can you look it up, Sean? Hooked on a Feeling. Is that B.J. Thomas that sings that? So he had Always on My Mind first? Wow. Okay. I know B.J. or Feelings. No. What is the B.J. Thomas song? I know he had a big ass hit back in the day. In 92, speaking of big ass hit, Achy Breaky Heart was the #1 country hit from Billy Ray Cyrus, and it peaked at #4 in the pop-oriented Billboard 100. You got the answer?
Yeah, it's Hooked on a Feeling.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it was pop song written by Mark James and first recorded by American singer B.J. Thomas, 1968.
Ooga chaka, ooga chaka, ooga chaka. All right. Let's see. What else do we have? In 95, on this date, Monica released her debut album, Miss Thang. It features Don't Take It Personal, Just One of Them Days. The Ramones in 95 released their 14th and final album, Adios, Amigos. It featured a cover of Tom Waits' I Don't Want to Grow Up. In 98, the Beastie Boys went to #1 on the UK album charts with Hello Nasty, only the second rap album to make #1 in the UK. The first was Wu-Tang Clan. By the way, the Wu-Tang Clan just did their final concert in New York. The last 8 surviving members of Wu-Tang did a concert. I wish I would have gone to that one. That would have been fun to go to, man. So you New Yorkers out there that got to see Wu-Tang the other day, you bastards. Lucky. In 2001, Weezer released Hash Pipe, the first single from Weezer's AKA The Green album. In fact, Toto, the band I'm going to see on Friday, some of you are also going to see it. Toto has a song called Hash Pipe. It is one of the most rocking songs that Toto has ever done in their life. So Weezer has it. Just, check it out for Toto. It's called Hash Pipe. And it's actually a good song, but it is un-Toto-like. Because it's even harder than Hold the Line. And that's, not even really hard, but for Toto, that's kind of hard. The Hash Pipe is definitely like their hardest song, but it's got a nice groove to it, dude. You got to check it out. Anyway, if you care about it, whatever. What else do we have here? In 2008, Billy Joel played his last concert at Shea Stadium, the final show before Shea Stadium was closed down. Joel was joined on stage by Paul McCartney, Garth Brooks, Steven Tyler of Aerosmith, and The Who's Roger Daltrey. In 2014, Shakira becomes the first person to accumulate 100 million likes on Facebook. Who doesn't like that ass? And that is what happened today in music history. Okay. All right. Leon Fresco, thank you, sir, for the super chat. Leon Fresco says, we'll be in Madrid game with Sun. Oh, we better hook up, you bastard. And we'll come to see you, but we will have our Commanders jerseys on. We live in D.C., and I couldn't have Sun suffer. No, that's cool, bro. It's understandable. Much love, bro. Just come by and say hi. Love to meet you, man. Love to meet you. You've been supporting the show for so damn long. It would be my honor to meet you, man. Thank you. Dougie Fresh says, Victoria and I have an OG listener question. What happened to Bill Devo's mask we sent him? I have the mask somewhere around here. It just doesn't stay on. I think it's back there, actually, the mask. I had to hide it because to put the mask and the I remember the hat is spun around because remember the little velcros. And so and because it's round, it comes apart and it comes off. And so at the same time, the mask, at first I had it, it would collect dust and it gets in the way of his face. So I left it maskless, and the mask is somewhere around here. I do have it here. I do have it. By the way, I wore the Devo shirt yesterday, now that you mentioned that. And hi, Victoria. Let's see. What else? Yeah. Bill did cough a lot. Yes. Yes. Miami Breaker. What else do we have here? 305 Sports. Thank you for the love in the super chat. Willie Nelson makes my thing of the hammer, Hank Goldberg. He loved Willie. Yeah, Willie's who doesn't like Willie? Willie's a lovable dude, bro. Lenny Pena says some pictures online are deceptions. I would need to see the latest MIA pics. Dude, I'm floored that MIA is 50. Floored. And by the way, black really don't crack. Okay. Damn. She's 50? Wow. Great genes. Great genes. Jay Gelfin, raindrops keep falling on my head. A little BJ. There you go. Big O, what's your top 3 favorite classic rock bands? Is Led Zeppelin considered classic rock? Is that what you're saying? Is The Who considered classic rock? If we're talking like, late 60s, 70s, Zeppelin, the Beatles are not classic rock. Because definitely the Beatles would be in there, but no, I'm going to go Zeppelin. You said favorites, not the best. Okay. Zeppelin, Boston, and the Eagles. I mean, it's hard because I can probably come up with a couple of others that I really love, but quick, there you go. To stay in the classic rock genre. What else do we have here? And thank you all out there. Remember to smash the hell out of the like button. Appreciate you all out there as always. Thank you. Where is Bitcoin right now, by the way? Where are we at with Le Bitcoin? We're at 117. I like it. 117.8. I like it. It's probably what's going on is that money's flowing out of Bitcoin and into some altcoins. That's what you're going to have now. You're going to have some of that go on, and that's why the altcoin market is going up now and the Bitcoin dominance is going down. That's what's happening. But that doesn't change anything. It will continue moving in, upward and onward. Don't worry about that. But the altcoins now are going to start making some big time moves. Hopefully you and I own the right altcoins that hit, Alethea right now up 40%. Loving it, man. Alethea is tearing some ass, dude. Alethea is tearing ass like an astronomer does at a Coldplay concert. Analogies galore on this show. That's what you get. By the way, this weekend, Manny Pacquiao is going to take on Mario Barrios. And you know what, dude? Over the years, I've had relationships with the different outlets to go out to Vegas and all that kind of stuff. And I had a chance. We had a chance a couple of months back, I think, in September, to go, and we turned it down. And I know this is not good for me to do stuff like this, but this is a joke. And I'm at a point now where I really don't have any interest in going to cover boxing matches anymore because boxing matches are pretty much a joke. But Manny Pacquiao and Mario Barrios, I mean, you've got to be a first-class loser to watch this shit. And then they're talking about bringing Pacquiao and Mayweather again. Like, seriously? That fight sucked the first time, and it was like 6-7 years too late. You're going to try it again? How bad is boxing, dude? It's just really, any of you are going to watch this? Come on, folks. Lenny says, I just saw some pics from the late last year, and damn, Big O, MIA is holding it together. Still looks like she's in her early mid-30s. Wow, she's 50, and you're right. Black don't crack, and that's for sure. I'm serious, bro. I'm floored. I mean, if you didn't see the expression on my face, I'm not even like this fan of MIA or anything of her music or anything, but I've seen her 100 times all over the place, and never in my life did I even think she was in her 40s, much less 50. Exactly, Lenny. I thought she was in her 30s. Wow, dude. Super jeans. Levi's. No. Dickies. No. Jordache. No. Sergio Valente. No jeans come up to her jeans. She's got the best jeans. Damn. How do you look like that at 50, bro? Bless you, MIA. She's giving a finger to Mother Nature and to the process of getting old, bro. And you know that's MIA's thing, is giving a finger to whatever she doesn't like. She's fingering old age. Doesn't sound good, right? Anyway. Oh, Lordy. Lordy. All right, folks, we're out of here. We'll see you tomorrow. No, we won't. We'll see you Monday. I'll see some of you tonight at Toto, Men at Work, and Christopher Cross. If you're going to the concert, reach out to me on the DMs there on X or on Instagram, and we'll meet by where they sell the shirts, something like that. I have to get my Toto shirt anyways, so looking forward to it. We'll be there early because obviously we want to be there to see Men at Work and see their entire set. But I can't wait, dude. MIA has that Benjamin Button gene. That's a good line. I like that. MIA is not black. She's from Sri Lanka. Bro, whatever. She's got whatever her skin is, it's magic. Give me that skin. Okay? Give me that Sri Lanka skin, bro. How is that woman 50? Thank you, Akshar. We will definitely have fun at the concert, the wife and I. Can't wait, bro. Can't wait. All right. And what is it? See you tomorrow, fellas. Have a great one. Greta show as always. All right. Great show is probably what you meant by not Greta. Because I'm thinking Greta Van Fleet. You give me Greta, I think GVF. All right, we thank Sean Stanley. We thank, of course, the amazing David Furones. We love him. Manny Navarro, amazing. Been with us since day one and been coming on my show for like 25 years, dude. Just a great dude. We will see you all on Monday. Some of you, we might see you tonight. Love you all out there. Don't forget to hit the like button whenever you're listening, watching, whatever it is, however you support us. We appreciate it, and visit our great, great sponsors, man. Very important. Caneswear, by the way, use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off. Go visit our friends at Hialeah Park and get in on the giveaways there at Hialeah Park, man. They've got it going on constantly. We'll see you on Monday. Same time, same place, same bat channel.